bells. Gosh darn it. I'm in the middle of recording and all of a sudden, I get a phone call. I'm like, really? Really? Anyways, also, homemade matcha latte, which is the bomb, and it blows the socks off of any coffee shop one. So, okay, baby is like pushing. I gotta show you. I'm gonna show you where my belly's at first, so you can just understand what this feels like when I'm sitting here. Look at where he's at. He is like so high and he got so big. So there's that. And I want to show you what I'm most excited about. Look at the snow has melted. And yeah, I hate the winter. It was so challenging, you guys. Like, oh my gosh. I love the summers up here. Like, we're in northern Wisconsin, in case this is your first video tuning in. And the summers up here are spectacular. Totally amazing. But winter, I'm not a winter girl. So this has me like so happy. I'm like, oh, look at the water. So anyways, also, I know I said I was going to do them every single week, these pregnancy updates. I'm so sorry. Again, it's just been craziness since Jordan's gone back to work. The kids have gone back to school. It's been a huge adjustment. And the last 2 weeks, we had family that was visiting. So it was like Easter break, spring break, family was visiting. My bonus son was here. And then we had appointments every single day for the last 2 weeks. So, oh my gosh, I don't know how it is by you, but like here, a lot of our like eye doctors, dentists, and things like this, they were not seeing patients because of, the last year. And so they're finally doing that again, and we all had to get in, but you can only bring one kid in at a time. So it was like cycling through, like, okay, this kid, this day, then my appointments. And then it was just like, and before I knew it, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm already in at week 24 and a half of my pregnancy now. So I'm sorry. From this point forward, it will be weekly updates because we're coming up on the 3rd trimester. And this is where things like start to get a little bit like more exciting, I guess you could say. So we'll do some weekly updates from here on out. But anyways, okay. So in general, there have been a couple of things that have come up in the last few weeks. So he's been moving a lot more. I had my chiropractor appointment, so with the specialist, right? So, because if you guys remember, I have a really bad pelvic separation, like really bad. And that was creating a lot of pain. So that's essentially where your pelvis, okay, so if these are like your hips and where your pelvis comes together, it's supposed to be like this. Mine was sitting like this and almost like that. So it was not good. And this whole thing here, that little twist, is what made for some interesting deliveries in the past. And so we really wanted to address that during my pregnancy so that the delivery can be as smooth as possible, especially because, we're planning a home birth, water birth. That's the plan. And, things could change, but at right now I'm low risk, and that is the plan. So, aw, little bunny. So anyway, so I saw the chiropractor, my blood sugar's been a little crazy. And then we had the midwife appointment. I don't know why my nose is like, it feels like it's dripping, but I don't know. So anyways, so let's dive right in. So first of all, overall, I feel really good. Like, I feel good. I have like a decent amount of energy. I'm still sleeping. I've only had insomnia a couple nights. And so overall, I still feel like the pregnant unicorn that like in my mom's group, and everyone's like, and I'm just like, whoa, sorry. I'm enjoying this, the sex is awesome. Everything's better. So I know, TMI, and I'm so sorry. I hope don't watch with your children on, but like, it's amazing. So I love it. So I have like zero complaints there. The only thing that's been coming up, and I can eat vegetables now without throwing up. So that's huge and exciting. So really the only thing I had that was kind of like, was the pelvic separation and my blood sugar, you guys, for the last 3 weeks. So since the last pregnancy video, my blood sugar's been going really low. I'm talking like 68, 72, and it's after eating things that it should not dunk that low to, you know what I mean? So I'm eating like complex carbs, proteins. I mean, you guys know I'm like up on my nutrition, and we can't really figure out why it's doing that. And so I'm just kind of keeping an eye on it. I have to keep snacks with me everywhere. Like I have to keep like a couple dates, nuts, proteins, stuff like that. So I did talk to the midwife about that. She's not entirely sure what's going on. Cause whenever it happens, I just get like, I can feel like my brain almost getting like foggy. And then I'm just like, okay, like this is really weird. And sure enough, I would check my blood sugar and my blood sugar would be at like 70. And this is an hour after eating, you know what I mean? So it's just like, it's super weird. So we're keeping an eye on that. But it could also just be because if the baby is having like a growth spurt and it's, you know, he's growing a lot, that can mess with like your glucose and like your glycogen stores and things like that. So I don't know. I'm hoping we can figure that out. But for now, I'm just on, you know, really, really cautiously. Also, this is my new shirt. It says killing it all day, every day. Went shopping. I'll do it. I'm doing a shopping haul in the next video, by the way. So anyways, I digress. So for right now, I'm just like really watching my intake, making sure I'm combining the right foods. So there was that. He's also gotten stuck a couple of times when he's like moving around. So that's been really weird. Like he'll just be like this huge ball and I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I had my chiropractor appointment. So she is an hour and like 10 minutes away, something like that. But so worth it. So my midwife recommended her because I had been going to a guy in town. And I don't like the snap, crackle, pop chiropractors. And I also felt like he was not able to like address my pregnancy. He was just like doing the same 3 adjustments. And I was like, okay, but this isn't really helping. Like my pelvis is out of alignment. And so my midwife suggested, so if you are pregnant or if you know someone who's pregnant, I cannot say enough how to like, I cannot recommend enough to find a prenatal chiropractor. Has to be prenatal. They have to get certified in this very, very specific technique. And this lady, she had her own practice in Maine. Like she's been all over. So cool. She owned her own wellness center. And now she practices right out of her home, which is huge, like this gorgeous, enormous home. And like you walk into the basement and you just have like lake views. And so I feel like I'm very grateful that we have the financial ability because it's not covered by insurance. So it's like, it's all out of pocket, but it was so amazing. Like, and she's really inexpensive because she doesn't have a lot of overhead. And so for me, it, you know, it's pretty good. So I get there and we do everything. And you guys, she's going through like my first adjustment and she likes to like, how do I explain this? She kind of doesn't like to hear what your issues are. She likes to adjust you or kind of like work on you a little bit and just kind of do an assessment on you to see where you are. She knew and was able to pinpoint things without me ever telling her, which blew my mind. And she was able to figure that out just from looking at my body. So she was doing her assessment. She was able to say like, hey, has anyone ever told you one of your legs is shorter? And I was like, yes. So because one of my legs is shorter, I'll show you. This is actually pretty common in people. I can stand up on one of my legs. So, can you see the difference? Do you see, do you see that? So my right leg is longer, so my left leg is shorter. So when I go like this, I can swing my leg a little bit. So there's a fun little fact. So, so she was able to tell that based off of my shoulder position. She's like, huh, because your body compensates, which also, if one of your legs is shorter, obviously your pelvis is going to be like, right? It's going to be off, and that pelvis is where that that inside circle area of your pelvis is what kind of like dictates the birth canal. So if your pelvis is like wonky, when the baby's trying to come out, it can get like stuck, or a shoulder can, so she was able to see that. And when I went into that appointment, I was in so much pain with my pelvis. I could not roll over at night. I mean, like, I have a really high pain threshold, but it was ridiculous. Like, I couldn't lift my leg up. Like, if I were sitting here like this, going like this with one of my legs, it just felt like my bones were literally just gonna go, just break. So sure enough, she feels that and she's like, oh my gosh, this is really bad. And she's like, this might hurt a little bit. And so she's putting pressure, and what she's doing is so first she did like a little massage on my back. She's got a special pillow and everything. And then she pushed down and I felt it, but instantly after she aligned it, the pain was gone. And I was just like, I just started crying not because it hurt, but because I was like, oh my gosh, like I just witnessed a miracle. Like, not even that, I was just so overwhelmed because I didn't have any pain. I could not believe it. So she did that. And then, so what was happening in my body was because my pelvis, okay, so my pelvis was out of alignment, which was pulling these round ligaments in a weird way. And that's what was keeping the baby super low. So if you guys saw how low I was carrying him, it was because my pelvis was out of whack. So she did a round ligament massage. And as soon as that was done, like I could feel this relief and it hurt really bad. So she was like massaging these round ligaments, trying to get them to loosen, and she was being so gentle. But as soon as it released, the baby just like rolled up, like literally you could see my whole belly. He just like turned and spread out. And ever since then, now he's finally been able to have the room to like come up and take up my whole belly space. Whereas before, I was getting issues of like constipation and all that stuff because he was so low, things weren't moving in the exit way, the exit passageway. So that's why I was constipated, because he was too low. I've had no issues. I know, TMI, but so that was totally amazing. I could go on and tell you about everything for an hour and it would blow your mind how amazing this was. And then she was able to find my tailbone. So I totally forgot. So then she's adjusting my back and she's going in there and feeling it. And she's like, whoa, your tailbone is like, did you ever break your tailbone? And I'm like, oh yeah, I broke my tailbone when I was sledding when I was like 16. My high school boyfriend and I at the time went down this hill and it was like ice and I just fell on it and oh my God, it was bruised. And so I broke my tailbone. And then when I had Christopher, when he was coming out, they had to get him out and he was stuck. And so when they were like pulling him out, it broke my tailbone. It like fractured it. She was able to tell that just from the exam. So then she manually manipulated my tailbone into place. And for the next like 72 hours, it felt like I was sitting on a pencil eraser, like shoved up my butt crack. I know, it sounds terrible. And that's because what happened was my tailbone like went like this as well, which was making it difficult also during delivery, because she asked me, she's like, did any of your babies get like stuck, or did they, in your last couple of pregnancies, did your labor stop progressing, or did you have issues with fully dilating? And I was all like, yes. She's like, and did anyone ever tell you that your cervix or your uterus was tilted? And I'm like, yes. And she said, well, that's because your pelvis was off and your tailbone was blocking that. And so I shouldn't have any issues with that during labor and delivery this time. So I'm sorry. This, I feel like, has just been an update on the chiropractor, but like, oh my gosh, I'm so stoked. So high five, send me all the good vibes, you guys, because I'm totally trying to like manifest a 6 to 7 hour labor at the maximum. Like 4 to 7 hours I can do. I don't want to go beyond that. So I want a fast labor. Leah's labor was like, well, she's my most difficult child, but let's be real. I went into labor with her on Monday, labor stopped. 4 days later, I go into labor at 3 in the morning and I had her at like 10:50 at night. So like this baby, I am doing birth visualizations. So every day I do them in the morning when I wake up and at night. And I want to have a sunny day and a morning labor. Like I wake up at like 3 to 5 a.m. after a full night's sleep. And then I have him by 11 and it's spectacular. So that's what we're hoping for. A very smooth, easy peasy delivery. Okay. I think that's it. So we talked about the chiropractor. Oh, I went maternity clothes shopping. So if you did not watch those videos, I ordered from Shein, and yesterday, my favorite kind of shopping, I think, well, even, you know, when I am like super loaded and have millions, will always be like thrift shopping. I freaking love it. I just love it so much. So that's what I did yesterday. So I got some like maternity clothing, not maternity, but it'll work for maternity and postpartum. So that's what I did. So I'm going to do a video on that. As soon as I flip this off, I'm going to show you what I got yesterday. A bunch of cute outfits. And then I also have, I am totally prepared for, I have my birth box ready, my postpartum stuff, like everything I need. We're like done because I'm just like obsessive with being ready. So I'll do a video on that. Oh, and yesterday had the midwife appointment. Everything's great. He is still head down. He doesn't have an arrhythmia anymore, which is amazing. So she listened for a long time and she's like, I'm confident that just cleared up on its own. So yay, that's amazing. So she's putting that like the Doppler to try to get to like hear him, right? And he does not like being poked. And I have been saying this whole time how he's got this very like grounded energy, but he also feels very particular and just strong opinions. I've been saying those exact words the whole time. So yesterday, the midwife, which I have to drive an hour and a half to go see, I get there and she's doing the Doppler. And whenever she tries to put the Doppler on my belly, he would kick it off. You could see, or he'd roll. And she was like, wow, he's very active. And he is. And she's like, and he's got very strong opinions. He knows what he likes and he knows what he doesn't like. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's my husband and my child. What do we expect? So that was funny. So anyway, so that was that. But everything's going well with baby. The only thing is he is establishing some waking patterns, which I'm really hoping go to normal hours before I have him. Because right now, every night from about 8 p.m. until 10, 11, he's awake, like kung pao karate things. And then 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. Like, oh my gosh. And it's not like just a little bit of like rolling. It's just, it's nonstop, like super active, huge belly roll movements. So it's pretty insane. So anyways, I'm going to show you the belly and then I'm going to cut this off and record the second video today. And then it's gonna be the weekend, and it's Ryan's birthday this weekend. So we're going to the water park, and I'm gonna wear my adorable, can you see the leopard print swimsuit right here? So it's the peplum, coral peplum with leopard print bottoms. It's gonna be totes adorbs. So, okay, in case you wanted to see it again, here's the belly. Let's see if I can show you. All right. Okay. Look at this belly. I know, right? I'm like, oh my gosh. Look at that. Look at that belly. It's bigger than my butt, or at least the same. It sticks out the same amount. So yeah, I'll show you. So here it is. I'm using my homemade stretch mark oil. So hopefully, I don't know if you can see that, hopefully my stretch marks don't come back or get any more red. So I've been putting it on every day, and I will show you, I'll do the recipe in the next one, okay? So then you can snag it, because I swear by that stuff. So, all right, okay, humans. If you have any questions for me that you want me to go over in a video or something, let me know. It's been hella busy around here, obviously, but I am taking all of your comments, and they are like in an app on my phone for content, because I want to talk about what you guys want to hear, obviously. So lifestyle, pregnancy, miscarriage, shopping, whatever it is that you want me to talk about, as long as it's appropriate. I'm pretty much an open book, okay? Alrighty, so I'm gonna go film the next video. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day. Thanks so much for tuning in. Be sure to go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and also the bell, so that you get notified when a video drops, because the videos have been a little weird. So click the bell, and feel free to check me out down there on Instagram as well. I'm on Instagram stories way more than I should be, probably pretty much every day. All right, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.